those of you that would like prayer support with our beloved volunteer prayer chaplains, we are now offering the ability to pray with them through Zoom. Go to our website, unitytriangle.org/events, and click on one-on-one prayer with a prayer chaplain. And you will be accessing a prayer chaplain directly to pray with you. They will be available from 9:45 to 10, and then again from 10:30 to 11:15, which is after the 9 o'clock and before the 11 o'clock service. They are here to pray with you, to support you with your needs, especially during this trying time that we've been through this past year. We are here for you, and we welcome the opportunity to pray with you.
That's not what meek means in this sense. It really means humility. Humility in this sense, that you are humble in that you can allow that which is governing the universe to also govern your life and to govern the way you approach life. That you would expect that which has managed to do everything well, everything to this point has created everything, that would also probably be wiser than yourself. And so that you would be humble or meek enough to take advice, to take change, to take in a direction from
For those of you that would like prayer support with our beloved volunteer prayer chaplains, we are now offering the ability to pray with them through Zoom. Go to our website, unitytriangle.org/events, and click on one-on-one prayer with a prayer chaplain, and you will be accessing a prayer chaplain directly to pray with you. They will be available from 9:45 to 10, and then again from 10:30 to 11:15, which is after the 9 o'clock and before the 11 o'clock service. They are here to pray with you, to support you with your needs, especially during this trying time that we've been through this past year. We are here for you, and we welcome the opportunity to pray with you.
That's not what meek means in this sense. It really means humility. Humility in this sense, that you are humble in that you can allow that which is governing the universe to also govern your life and to govern the way you approach life. That you would expect that which has managed to do everything well, everything to this point has created everything, that would also probably be wiser than yourself. And so that you would be humble or meek enough to take advice, to take change, to take a direction from that's not what meek means in this sense. It really means humility. Humility in this sense, that you are humble in that you can allow that which is governing the universe to also govern your life and to govern the way you approach life. That you would expect that which has managed to do everything well, everything to this point has created everything, that would also probably be wiser than yourself. And so that you would be humble or meek enough to take advice, to take change, to take in a direction from that. Welcome to Unity of the Triangle Sunday service. We're happy you've joined us here today. Today is a beautiful day. We have a special offering in the beginning.
Yes, it's almost like every Sunday there's a unique feature, and today our family gets to be celebrated and expanded. We have our new member induction. As you may know, becoming a member of this beautiful spiritual community, Unity of the Triangle, means that you're really saying, I am committed fully to my spiritual life, to having unity be the principles that I follow, and then to have this as my spiritual home.
Yeah, so we're really happy to have new members, and each one of them will introduce themselves, so you'll get a chance to see their face and get to know them a little bit.
We bless them all, and we bless you.
Hi, my name is Ann Barrington, and I decided to join Unity because from the very first time I visited, I was so impressed with their unifying message of love that drew from many faith traditions. And especially because they were studying at the time Love Without End, Jesus Speaks by Glenda Green, which is my favorite book of all times. I felt like I could express my faith without the fear of saying the wrong thing. I'm not sure what I am bringing to Unity. I'm a retired nurse and health coach. But maybe my willingness to participate and to help in any way that I can with this marvelous community, hopefully in person soon. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Deborah Mack, and I'd like to join Unity because its spiritual values, they fit with my spiritual values, and the fellowship is just absolutely wonderful. And I also, what do I bring to the community? I bring my unique connection to the divine, and that I'm able to share it with others. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Joanne Green, and I've been attending Unity of the Triangle for the past 6 years. I'm becoming a member in order to deepen my commitment to spiritual living, as well as to expand my dedication to the unity beliefs of love, service, and personal transformation, as well as its core values. I bring to the Unity family a strong spirit of service and helping others, a passion for health and wellness, as well as a desire to spread love and compassion to all. Thank you. Namaste.
Hello, my name is Brenda Mullins. I have been attending Unity of the Triangle for many years. I began at Longview, where I made the decision to join a wonderful team, Hospitality. Each Sunday we prepare the refreshments for everyone to enjoy. In 2020, I made the decision to join the church because it felt like the right thing to do. What do I bring to the Unity community? I bring pie, the best pie ever.
What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song, and I'll try not to sing out of key. I wanna get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I gotta try with a little help from my friends. Wanna get high with a little help from my friends. Hold on to my friends. What do I do when my love is away? Does it worry me to be alone? How do I feel at the end of the day? Am I sad 'cause I'm on my own? Get by with a little help from my friends, and keep on trying with a little help from my friends. Ooh, just might cry with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna hold on to my friends. Ooh, 'cause it needs somebody to love. Hey, somebody. Oh, I need someone who knows where I'm going. Somebody who knows I'm so ready to love. Gonna get by with a little help from my friends. I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I gotta get high with a little help from my friends. Ooh, gotta keep on trying with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get by with a little help. Gonna try with a little help. Oh, I gotta try with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get by with a little help. Just a little help, yeah. Get by with a little help from my friends.
And today, the exploration of the Beatitudes continue. We're doing the Beatitude that says, Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. And I would love to bring Jesus' words because he sees himself as meek. On Matthew 11:29, he says, Learn from me, for I am meek and lowly of heart, and you will find rest upon your souls. So it's almost a connection between the meekness and rest. And I would say, according to Emmett Fox, the earth really represents manifestation. So we'd love to see or hear what you have to say, Neusom, because it's like from being like on the low side to manifesting. I don't know.
Well, I think you will find that the word meek is not that sycophant kind of suck up, self-defacing person, but rather a person that is humble, that allows for the flow of life to come through them. And in that sense, we can all be meek without being embarrassing to ourselves or others.
It's almost being in that space of there's so much I can do, and there's so much that God can do through me. And it's to have that humility and that openness to allow that higher aspect of ourselves to express and do it for us.
So true. Sounds very true.
Oh, well, I guess we're ready. And the best way to get ourselves even more ready would be to hear one of Mimi's prayers.
Let's do so humbly.
If you'd like to be supported in prayer, you can go to our website, unitytriangle.org, and click on prayer and meditation. And you will see when you scroll down the form for putting your name in this prayer box. Prayer chaplains are also available now every single Sunday between the services by going to our Zoom link, and you will have a private one-on-one prayer with a prayer chaplain. So now let us pray. In the stillness of prayer, we humbly seek the wisdom of the divine. When we surrender to and allow the will of the divine to guide our actions, our lives unfold in ways beyond our imagination and in better ways than our ego-driven mind can comprehend. With open minds and hearts, we stand in faith, trusting that the divine's greatest desire for us is always a joyous, prosperous, and fulfilling life. We affirm we have dominion over our thoughts and feelings, or a state of meekness, in order to be in alignment and harmony with Spirit. When we are rich in Spirit and free of spiritual pride, our patient quietness and humble meekness awakens the wisdom of the divine within us, and we inherit the fullness of life and all its glory. May every name in this prayer box realize this truth, and may they remember, as a child of God, they too have dominion over their lives when they bring their mental and emotional states in harmony with the divine. We rest in gratitude for this truth, and so we let it be. Amen.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. that sets us free. There is only love.
Let's take a moment or two to meditate. So let's begin by letting the body become relaxed and at ease. And yet, let us not fall asleep. So let's sit in a way that we can be both relaxed and awake. And begin to pay attention to the breath, as we always do, to try to bring us into a quieter sense of ease in the body and in the mind. Following the breath as it comes in, following the breath as it goes out. At this moment, see if you can drop your shoulders a little, relax more deeply, and continue to bring your attention to the breath. And let the body relax. Now let's bring in some attention to the heart by breathing into and out of the heart. Now see if you can align your breath with the breath of the universe. Breathing in and breathing out at the same pace as the universe. And as we synchronize with that which is all powerful, everywhere present, that is love itself, we feel the grace of being in tune with that which is, neither too proud or too afraid to express. We breathe in, we breathe out, we accept the grace. To float on this sea of breath, in tune with all that is. We know this as grace. Now, when the mind wanders and starts to make plans, bring it back to the breath. And when the mind wanders and starts to rehearse the past, bring it back to the breath. Grace below me, grace above me, grace before me, and grace behind me. On my right side and on my left. I float in a sea of grace. My breath rides on the waves of eternity and the universe. and my peace exceeds understanding. I am, and I am transforming. As we sit together in holy silence. Blessed are the humble, for they shall inherit the earth. So in many ways, to our modern ears, that sounds false. It seems that those who are strong, those who are aggressive, those who claim this world, who go out and set goals and achieve them, to them, the world belongs. What Jesus is saying in this phrase is not so much that we should be humble in the sense of not expressing ourselves, but in our attitude toward the way we express ourselves and to the divine. I think originally most people heard this phrase as, blessed are the meek, they shall inherit the earth. When I hear the word meek, I don't think it's the same way the ancients heard the word meek. When Jesus said, I am meek, or it was said of Moses, he is the meekest man in the world, I doubt they were thinking that he is shy and retiring, that we are unwilling to stand up for ourselves, or that we let anyone take advantage of us without complaining. That's not what meek means in this sense. It really means humility. Humility in this sense, that you are humble in that you can allow that which is governing the universe to also govern your life and to govern the way you approach life, that you would expect that which has managed to do everything well, everything to this point has created everything, that would also probably be wiser than yourself. And so that you would be humble or meek enough to take advice, to take change, to take in a direction from that wisdom. This is a form of humility that doesn't require you to be subservient to other people. That doesn't require you to be self-deprecating beyond just courtesy. Inwardly, you can still hold yourself in high self-esteem. You can still act with boldness and with courage, but you would be receptive and in tune with what's going on in the world, what the divine is saying to you, what the Spirit is saying to you, all the factors that can influence you to move in an elegant and sophisticated way, attuned to what is going on in the environment, both material and divine. This is the practice of being meek so that you might inherit the earth. I have a good story about myself in which I was not meek. Years ago, someone said that if I bought these 3 houses in a row, it would produce X amount of dollars. And that sounded very good to me. I could rent these houses. They were renting for a good percentage for the amount of investment I would have in it. And it seemed like on the whole, I would make somewhere between 20 and 40% a year. It sounded really great. Well, I went about trying to get loans for these houses. And if you've ever gotten a loan recently, quite often by the time you're done with it, you feel like a criminal because every quarter of your finances and some things that don't even seem to be pertinent to the issue are investigated, and you have to produce documentation for anything you claim. Anyway, the process was difficult, and it got more and more difficult. And even during this, I remember my partner saying, I'm not sure this is such a great idea, but I was determined. I had decided I was going to do this. I was not humble in that sense. I was clearly not listening to what was going on around me, but I was definitely made up my mind I was going to do it. It was interesting that my loan officer, who was living in Los Angeles and talking to me on the phone, said, so tell me why you're trying to buy these houses? I should have known when that happens, when someone who just looking at the numbers look at you and go, you got to be kidding me. I didn't listen. I continued it. It turned out that those 3 properties became like an albatross around my neck. They required a lot of time and attention. They were ugly. I didn't know how to manage them well, and they required a lot of maintenance and improvements to sell. And I didn't make money on it. And so this was just a classic case of not being humble in spirit, not being meek when meekness would have been wisdom. There's another place where this really plays out. I find it in marriage relationships or any intimate relationship, this idea of knowing how the other person should be is like, it's the opposite of meekness. It is declaring what the other person should do, act, and say, how they should look sometimes even, what their background or where their goals are should be, that we know what the other person should be like. This lack of meekness, oh my gosh, how well does it serve us? I'm sure you know, not well at all. That the real thing is, if you want your love life to go beautifully, we must be humble, meek even, in the same way that we listen to what's going on. We hear what the other person is up to, and we don't know what's best for somebody else. We can let them unfold as they would. This seems vitally important to an intimate relationship. One relationship that we care about the most, we should actually bring the most humility. Our hearts tend not to be too proud. It is our minds, I think, that get in the way. And so when Jesus is telling us to be meek, it is essentially to say, don't let your mind get away with telling you that it knows everything. Relax. Be a receptive being. Learn to go with the flow. Learn to be trusting that what is okay. Years ago, I went to see Byron Katie. Byron Katie, in my opinion, is one of the great spiritual voices of our generation in the United States. I just think she's a lovely being. And even, I've often said, she's the American Buddha. And the reason I take so much encouragement and wisdom from her is because her practice is really simple. Her practice is one of getting rid of judgment within the individual. And judgment, of course, will cause much of the trauma and trouble in your life. It's not always the things that happen. It's the way we think about them. So Byron Katie asks us to do something in her practices. She asks us to judge our neighbor. To judge our neighbor, just write it down exactly like you judge him. Oh, she shouldn't be that vociferous. She should be kinder to her dogs. She should take care of the way her lawn looks, or whatever it is. It doesn't even have to be major. But write it down. And once you've written it down, then you deal with it as you wrote it down, because you deal with it as you thought it. So then she asks 3 questions. The first question is it true, your judgment? Is that true, just as it is? And you can say, yes, of course it's true. She should definitely take care of her lawn. It makes the neighborhood look unsightly. And then she would ask the second question, can you absolutely know that it's true? And when asked that way, the only person that could really answer that question would be God. And unless you want to play God, the next answer has to be, well, I don't know for sure, or no, I don't absolutely know. So the answer to the second question is no. It isn't necessarily true that it has to be done the way I judged it. The third question is, who would you be without that thought? So if you've ever been angry with someone, or ever felt like someone was doing you wrong, and you came to this realization that the very thought that they're doing you wrong is what's causing you suffering, when you answer that question, it would be obvious. Well, I'd be happier, I'd be more peaceful, I'd have less to worry about, I could get on with my life. So there you have it, an awakening in 3 questions. Now, the last thing she would ask is to turn it around and to see the world differently. What in essence is the opposite of that, which is equally true to what you were saying? Take, for instance, the lawn. So you've been judging this woman that she doesn't take care of her lawn. And now you ask the question, what's equally and opposite true? Well, you could say that essentially she should be doing it that way. And there might be good reasons. Perhaps she's trying to protect a wildlife, or she's disabled, or there are many, many reasons exactly why it should be that way. Or it could be that I should take care of the lawn of my own thoughts. I should trim the thoughts. I should clean up my own act. And that could be the turnaround. And in that, you have reached a state of meekness. You have come to realize that your judgment is not making your world better. You are not inheriting a beautiful world when you do that. What you're inheriting are your judgments, which are painful in and of themselves. And so therein lies the crux of it. We do not want to meet the world from our judgmental self, or from our all-knowing self, or from our arrogance, or from our self-righteousness. We want to meet the world with humbleness, so that the world can instruct us about what would be a good investment, so that the world can instruct us about the nature of the way it is, in such a way that we could match it and find a flow, and that we don't torture ourselves with judgments about the way the world is or the way some other person should be. We instead have a sense of humility. That one question, can you really know that it should be different? It drives us down into the humbleness that allows us to be in flow with all that is. It keeps us from putting ourselves in a position where we're like the object in the room that everybody has to bump into. It lets us find our place naturally. It doesn't mean that we can't strive for goals, that we can't try to express ourselves into the fullest. It just means that we're really attuned to what's going on and not making judgments that keep us from seeing the truth. Our minds can be so resistant that we don't allow the good to shine through. We don't allow things to get better. There's a story, I believe it was about Peace Pilgrim, the woman who walked across America over and over with nothing. She carried nothing, and she relied on people to just take care of her. It was a very humble existence, if you've ever thought about it, just walking down the road, hoping someone would take care of you, but that was her practice. And it turned out it worked really well for her. On this one day, she was picked up by a man driving a truck. And she was sitting there on the front seat with him, and she realized he had very harmful intent for her. It was just his nature at that time to want to hurt her for no good reason. Not that he knew who she was. He just wanted to hurt somebody. As the saying goes, hurting people hurt. Anyway, recognizing this, instead of trying to jump out of the thing or yelling at him or defending herself in any way, what she said to him was quite simple and quite humble. She said, "I really appreciate you taking care of me. I can tell that I'm really being well taken care of by you, and you're really so kind to be so nice to me. I'm feeling so comfortable, I'm just going to take a nap." And so with that, she leaned her head against the side of the car and went to sleep. Her kindness, her love, the radiance of who she was, a humble, meek person, and this sweet words that she said to him transformed him. And he became a longtime advocate of hers, a defender of her and protector whenever she was in his area. Now you think about that. It is not with arrogance that we could do that. It's not with being right. It could only be by being humble that we could draw out of someone a better situation. Here's another story. There's a woman who was once a waitress in a restaurant, and her boss told all the waitresses there that they had to smile at a customer at least once or they would be fired. And so this is not very pleasant for most of the people who are wait staff. But this one woman was smiling all the time. She was having the best time. She was engaging with each of the customers she had with joy and excitement. And everybody loved being around her. And somebody who knew that story about what the bosses said, I see that you seem very happy. Didn't your boss tell you had to smile at people? Is that why you're so happy? Is that why you're doing it? She said, no. She said, I realize that the first smile I had to do, but the rest of them were all mine. And I could do as many as I wanted. And so I have affected the way I feel by smiling at people all day long. If you remember the story of Jesus as he was talking about the Roman occupation of the Middle East at the time. And at that time, a Roman soldier could compel a person of the occupied country to carry his load for a mile. And I guess the rule was, just to keep it short, they could only ask you to carry it for a mile. And Jesus said, if a man compels you to carry or walk with him a mile, I say walk with him too. And in that becomes your liberation. In that moment when you can take this humble position, not a begrudging that you've been forced to do something you don't like, but a humble position that here's my opportunity to be with or to act with kindness. So even if you were compelled the first mile, you carry the second mile. And in that way, you become not enslaved by this person, but instead you become a free person. You have chosen to do this, not you are forced to do it. Therein lies the beauty of humility. Humbleness allows us to do that which frees us. It may not seem obvious at first, but if we can take a humble position, then we are allowed the freedom to do anything. The proud and the arrogant are forced into narrow ideas of what is self-improving, what looks good, what makes people think you're important. I was joking with the people here today, and this is an aside really, I said, just how rich do you have to be to wear an ascot? And so I want to come back to this idea that we get confined in our freedom because we have chosen not to be humble. But when you're humble, you're free to be anything. You're free to be foolish, to be outrageous, to be joyful, to do more than you're asked of, to love somebody even when they might harm you. That is real freedom. Your actions are not predicted by what other people do. They can be as mean to you as they want to be, and it is your option as a humble person to be as nice as you want to be. Think of that. In that, you inherit freedom. And freedom is the most beautiful of gifts that you can get. When we learn to forgive and learn to be humble, we can walk in a world in which we are free. And we're not limited by what other people are doing. We may suffer some consequences by what they do, but our response is our freedom. Not what they do to us, but what we do is our freedom. So in this, we can inherit the world, a world of our choosing, not a world that is given to us, commanded to us by others, perhaps less than honorable thoughts or actions. We can inherit a world that is our response to be who we choose to be. Humbleness, while it may seem to take something away, can give us great freedom and the power to possess this world because we have become self-possessed. I recommend this to you. Remember that those who are humble inherit the earth. Those who have not chosen to be self-righteous, self-important, judgmental, they are the ones who inherit the earth. May we take this lesson in and be humble with it. And when we are not like that, let us be humble with ourselves as well, and provide a baseline of self-acceptance and forgiveness. That we would like the world to extend to us, let us extend it to ourselves first. This is a beautiful saying. Let's take it to heart. And so it is. Amen.
They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is not need. And I see on every face of everyone who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any way now, I shall be relieved. They say everyone needs protection. They say everyone must fall. And I see my reflection somewhere up in these hallowed walls. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any way now, I shall be relieved. Here stands a man in this lonely crowd, a man who says he's not to blame. And all day long I hear this man hollering out so loud, just plain crying out that he's not to blame. He's not to blame. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any way now, I shall be relieved. Any day now, any way now, I shall be
Thank you, Neusom, for such a beautiful meditation and lesson on being meek, being humble, having this awareness that there is so much that we can really accomplish by force or by our human side, that from the divine aspect, from our higher self, there's really unlimited potential. And I truly believe that when we find that space, we are in great freedom, and grace becomes a reality in our everyday experience. But I truly believe that there's an underlying awareness, a consciousness that really accepts this idea that the divine presence as us, the I am, is really the source and the substance of our prosperity. So at this time, I would love to hold that for you in every aspect of your life by reminding you that we all live in a field of great abundance, and that in that field of abundance that comes from that awareness, all our needs are met. And as we know that, we are free, and the grace expands in every direction, in our everyday life, in our relationships, in our finances, and so on. So at this time, it's a precious opportunity to extend of that awareness of abundance, to know that as we do, we will be greatly blessed, and our good will be multiplied, so we can continue doing that. And that's the flow of prosperity. We give more, we receive more, so that we may give more, so that we may receive more. And this is how we just experience, we inherit the earth. So at this very moment, hold that love offering, whether as you log in to give it, as you hold it in your heart, that intention of supporting your spiritual community. And then join me in saying, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you so much for all your generosity. And so it is. Amen. You know, Neusom, your birthday is coming up, and this year we don't get to do a party, so I was thinking, what could I give Neusom? And now I know. I'm going to give you an ascot.
All right. Yeah, I kind of deserved that one, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I do have an announcement. I want to let you know that Greg Lavoie will be here next week. Greg Lavoie does a great presentation, and he's going to do a workshop after church at 1:00 on the same day.
It's the name of the workshop is The Call of Challenging Times. And a couple of months ago, I did take a workshop with Greg. I'm in his email list, and I found it interesting. And it was excellent. It's an inquiry process about different aspects of going through the pandemic and our own experience. And at the end of the workshop, I was really like in a newer space, more mindful, more aware of what the gifts have been. So I hope you can get to take advantage of this opportunity here at Unity.
Yeah, please sign up in advance. It's on our website.
And I guess it's time to say goodbye.
I think so. We love being with you today and every day. So please come back again next week when we'll continue with the Beatitudes.
No, it's Greg.
Yeah. Check that. I'll be sitting at home with my ascot watching Greg on TV. But after that, we'll start the Beatitudes.
Perfect. Either way, we look forward to being together with you. Have a wonderful week and many blessings.
Ciao.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, family all on me. Let us walk with our family in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be
light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
I am the power of God.
And the presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God.
Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.